hope everybody enjoyed yesterday. We had a ton of fun. So yesterday we called some brokers off LoopNet. It was about deals, increasing your deal flow. The homework was to go into your market, look on some of the free services, LoopNet broker websites, and find some deals to pull some OMs, pull some rent rolls, and pull some P&Ls. Okay, that was the homework from yesterday. So coming into today, right, you got these P&Ls, you got these rent rolls. Like, what am I looking at? Okay, that is the biggest thing I want to go over today, is how to read these narratives of these buildings and understand what's going on, and that the numbers tell a story. And the more stories you read, the better you get at reading the stories. And the more stories you read, the more OMs, the more rent rolls, the more P&Ls you look at, the more you will start to see patterns of what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. And ultimately, like, be able to very quickly look at deals and see where the value add components are. So just as an example, there was a 93 unit property that Jason Peely and I closed, and we immediately on the profit and loss statement recognized that there was an electric bill that was like $160,000 annually. And there was also payroll and salaries that were over $200,000 of payroll and salaries on his expense sheet. In one, like, as soon as we bought that property, we were able to start billing back the tenants for electricity, and we removed 2 of the employees that were just basically just sitting there, and eliminated those salaries. So we got the salaries down to 100,000, and we billed all the tenants back for the electricity, which took some time to do. But we actually increased the NOI by $150,000 on that building, and divided by that 6% cap rate in Murfreesboro, we actually forced almost over $2 million in value on that building. Okay. And I know for some of you guys may not track exactly what I said, but in multifamily real estate, the value of the buildings are based on the net operating income of that building. It is not like single family, where it's based on what the apartment complex next door sold for. Okay. Now, when looking at comps, it's okay to look at comps to see like kind of what things traded at from a price per door standpoint and from a cap rate standpoint. That's good to know. But ultimately, your building's value is based on the cash flow that it produces. So you need to understand how to manipulate the spreadsheets and figure out where you can make that net operating income increase, because that is a direct reflection of your value. Does that make sense? Everybody tracking me on the net operating income? I know I'm talking, with some layman's terms, and there may be some people like Chad, we understand that, but I want to make sure that I cover the basis so that everybody has the knowledge they need to make their first offer by Friday. Okay. So that value is based on that net operating income. Now we're going to go over what was sent to me by that guy that I cold called, Barry Cummings. Cold called him yesterday. He sent me a 72 unit property. He sent me the 2020 and the 2019 profit and loss statements. And then he sent me an updated rent roll. I can underwrite a deal with a profit and loss statement and a rent roll. That's all you need. You do not need this list of due diligence documents and utility bills and all those kinds of things. You will get that later on when you're in due diligence phase. But to just look at a value of a property, you can get it done with a P&L and a rent roll. Okay. And that's what I typically ask for, a T12 or a trailing 12 months of profit and loss. So if you have a T12, or like if you're on a phone with somebody, the T12 is what you're looking for, the trailing 12 months profit and loss and a rent roll. Okay. And you can really look at a deal. And the more information you can get on the front end, the better. Obviously, if they can give you a T24 and they give you 24 months of profit and loss, that's even better, because you can start to see the trends of the building. But for the most part, that's what you need. Okay. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do today is I'm going to do this by the back of the napkin math. I'm not going to I'm not going to pull up some fancy underwriting calculator that you guys don't have. And now there's an excuse for you guys not to submit an offer by Friday, because you're like, well, I didn't have that calculator Chad had. So guess what? I'm doing this math with this little guy right here. You got one of these, you can underwrite a deal. Okay. So we're going to do the math just straight back of the napkin. After we read through the narratives, we're going to do it that way. Okay. To come up with a valuation.